Clueless Kiss. The night before at Christina's house had been great, I thought, as I walked back home, still half asleep. Everything had been organized at the last minute, which is why I forgot to put on the new black dress I wanted to wear for the first time. It didn't matter. There would be other opportunities later. Another thing I forgot yesterday was to let my father know that I was going out. That was much more relevant, but I couldn't think about it too much because I had to concentrate on the streets I was walking through, since that wasn't my neighborhood, and I didn't want to get lost. I had a few blocks left to think about what excuse I would invent. It was a Saturday at around 10 in the morning, it was sunny, and the street was almost deserted. Despite the prospect of chatting with my father, I felt content. Summer was approaching, the end of classes and the beginning of vacations. Everything would be fine if I managed to raise my grades and not have to take any exams. As I continued on my way, I saw him coming from afar. He was tall, moved casually, and had a very familiar air. As he got closer to me, I got a better look at him. He had brown curly hair and a matching half-grown beard. He was wearing faded jeans, a red shirt, and that aura of familiarity that I couldn't tell where it came from. When I got closer to him, I thought I found the key. He was Fernanda's boyfriend, my unbearable classmate, who did nothing but complain all day and criticize everyone. I had only seen her boyfriend a couple of times, but he had made a very good impression on me. He was very nice and funny. Whenever I saw him, I wondered what he could see in that bitter person. It was him. Now that we were almost face to face, I had no doubts. I even thought he looked cuter than the previous time I saw him. And I faced the typical dilemma, to say hello or not. If I greeted him, it would surely be a bit awkward, because the truth was that I didn't know him at all. If I didn't greet him, I'd come off as mean. I decided the mature thing to do was to swallow my shame, endure the weird moment, and at least say hello. I was planning to make eye contact and greet him when the time came. I was going to show my father that he was wrong, that I was no longer an irresponsible girl who doesn't take care of things. When I looked at him, he looked at me and smiled, but made no move to greet me. By then, I had gone too far and had even gotten close, tripping over a loose tile in the process. I wasn't sure if it was because he hadn't recognized me or what, but apparently Fernanda's boyfriend had no intention of talking to me, but now that we were so close, he had no other choice. I gave him a kiss on the cheek, smiling, and asked him how he was doing. He kept smiling strangely, and the situation was even more awkward than I had imagined. Luckily, it didn't last long. After exchanging the usual courtesies, we said goodbye with a bye, and each one went their way. The way he had looked at me when we greeted each other made me forget everything I had been thinking about. It had been such a strange look. He was so cute and cool that I couldn't help turning around, and I saw that he had also turned and was looking at me smiling. If only he wasn't Fernanda's boyfriend. But it wasn't worth fantasizing about someone I couldn't be with. I reasoned that the best thing to do was to spend the last few blocks I had left thinking about what I was going to say to my father, what excuses I could invent, and what justification I would give. That Christina was depressed because she had quarreled with her boyfriend, that she had lost an exam, that she was going on a trip for many months. My neurons were waking up little by little, and at that moment, everything seemed to fall into place. Travel. A few days ago, Fernanda had complained for 2 hours because her boyfriend was away and she missed him a lot. I couldn't see myself at the time, but I'm sure my face must have turned tomato red as I felt like a fire was burning me. Cold sweat ran down my back. If Fernanda's boyfriend was really traveling, that meant that I had just said hello to a complete stranger. That's why he looked at me in such a strange way. On second thought, the boy was definitely taller than Fernanda's boyfriend and more handsome. What had I done? Once the initial bout of embarrassment wore off, I started laughing to myself. What would the boy think of me? I couldn't stop laughing. Now everything made sense. His surprise, his unwillingness to greet me, his strange smile. Although thinking about it, the situation had a positive side. At least now if I saw him again, I could already say that we knew each other, and I would have an excuse to greet him again.